What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about American Horror Stories, the spin-off of American Horror Story that, at least right now, we think is coming out in 2021 along with season 10 of American Horror Story. I've covered it on this channel multiple times before, and if you're kind of unaware of it right now, I believe, at least in the States, it's coming on directly to FX on Hulu, so it's going to be a streaming platform only here in the United States. I imagine because Hulu isn't all over the world, it's going to come out either on another streaming platform that Disney owns, or maybe just come on FX or wherever you watch it in your home country, just to kind of clear all that up, because I see a lot of people talking about this in the comment section, and I just wanted to make sure I addressed it. Anyway, it does look like Ryan Murphy has come out and given us a little bit of information about what this series is going to be about, so I wanted to just take a couple minutes to dive into this and give my thoughts and opinions on it. On Instagram, Murphy said, and I quote, "We are doing 16 one-hour standalone episodes delving into horror myths, legends, and lore. Many of these episodes will feature American Horror Story stars you know and love. More to follow." In addition to that, we know that Sarah Paulson is coming back for this spin-off series, but she's going to be behind the camera and not in front of it this time. She's going to be directing, I think it's her directorial debut, but I could be wrong about that. You guys tell me in the comment section below. Anyway, I do feel like this is definitely worth talking about, considering the fact 16 episodes. I mean, over the last couple of years, we would be really lucky if we got, a 10-episode arc for American Horror Story. It just seems to be getting shorter and shorter, which, if I'm honest, was always kind of a thing I was worried about with the prolonged future of this franchise. In such a way that I understand that everyone's still excited to do it, but either they know they don't want to put a whole lot of filler content in there, so they're making it short on purpose, or they just don't have ideas that can fill the same amount of episodes as the ideas from the original couple of seasons were. Of course, this could also be just a product of nobody watches live television like they used to. Cable networks aren't as giant as they used to be, and even though American Horror Story still brings in a lot of dedicated viewership, just making less of it was the smarter move at the time, especially now that you have over 100 episodes for this particular series. That way, syndication, even though that's not what it used to be, is kind of guaranteed for the future, even though we're all kind of going to streaming. It's really kind of complicated, so I'm not going to cover it in this video. But I do think that this is very interesting, considering he's finally giving us an episode count for the initial season of this new spinoff. Considering the fact, as I said before, we're probably going to be getting it in 2021, as well as the 10th season of American Horror Story. If that season is, 10, 9, even 8 episodes, then we're looking at around 24, 25, and or 26 episodes of American Horror Story throughout that entire year. And I just can't possibly believe that they're going to be coming out concurrently at the exact same time. It's possible, but I feel like that would start eating away into people's attention spans, and you don't want to cannibalize this new show that you want to take off. As I've talked about this before, I can imagine this, because it's a streaming service only, at least here in the United States, it would be sometime in the summer. And that is if they can get everything completed and filmed before that time. Might not be possible. But in that way, I feel like it could be a little bit more of a buffer coming out in the summer and allowing season 10 to come out in the fall, like we always expect American Horror Story to come out in. And then possibly continuing that trend with the season 2 of American Horror Stories as we head into season 11, and then season 12, and then season 13. This is just something that we can watch throughout the summer for the fall premiere of the main flagship series. Of course, this is possible, considering it's a brand new show. They haven't probably started rolling cameras on it right now. Although we're not entirely sure, there is no real confirmation about when they're going to be starting, or even if they have started. I think probably early next year, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. Anyway, it's totally possible that they're going to be putting this out sometime in the early stages of 2022, as they have the first 16 episodes filling up that late winter, early spring kind of dry area for most other streaming services and networks who aren't putting out their A+ material, just kind of buying time for season 11 for American Horror Story. On another note, I have to kind of admit that hour-long episodes for this series is kind of a little bit disappointing for me. Now, don't get me wrong, I feel like Ryan Murphy and his writing staff just absolutely know how to put together a solid hour of entertainment, but considering that this is something that's supposed to be a little bit new, I don't know. Am I the only one these days who finds himself gravitating towards more serious outlets that are only 30 minutes long instead of an entire hour? Especially if it's going to be on a streaming service, primarily in the States, because then they can literally make it an hour long for every single episode. And to me, that can get a little bit tiresome, especially if there's not a whole lot going on within that episode and you just feel like this week is a little bit of a waste. I mean, that's another thing. Because it's coming out on Hulu and not something like Netflix or Amazon Prime, then we can pretty much expect it to be a weekly installment thing, just like the original American Horror Story was on FX. But even regardless of all of that, I do want to make it clear that I am excited for this spinoff. I'm excited for season 10. I can't wait to see what they have to give us. Because, guys, as I said in other videos, this year has just been a little bit of a nut punch when it comes to not getting the things that we expect from every single year. Ryan Murphy has talked about this a couple of times, how when it first started, he wanted American Horror Story to just be a yearly tradition for fans and everybody who loved horror on television. And, you know, ups and downs, left and right. Who knows how many people rank one season versus another, or how many people feel like the last couple seasons have been a little bit of a downer compared to the quality of the original couple of seasons. That's really up for debate. But honestly, just being able to look forward to a television show that has been in your life for multiple years and it comes at the exact same time, it's just such a relief and kind of an escape from everything else going on in your life. And with this year being so hard and not having those escapes for a lot of different types of entertainment, it's just made it that much harder. So I'm excited for this news. I can't wait to see what they come here with, because the idea of an anthology series that's only one episode in the American Horror Story universe is rather interesting to me. There's a lot of different avenues that they can play with. Hell, a lot of television shows right now are doing that. Obviously with AMC doing not only their new show Soulmates, which is a pretty good show. I mean, I've watched the first 5 episodes. I haven't really watched the season finale yet, but I'm excited for what they have to bring for season 2, and I'm going to make my way to watching episode 6 sometime here in the next couple days. And they also have Tales from the Walking Dead, which is going to be an episodic anthology show that has potential, at least in my eyes, considering they can look at the broader universe of The Walking Dead and we can get a lot of really interesting one-off stories, or maybe something that continues for 2 or 3 episodes. Who knows at this point? But I'm excited for this idea. I'm excited for more. I'm excited for less interconnected content, stuff that you can watch just at your leisure and just enjoy at your own pace. So, guys, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think the show is going to be about? We've covered this in a couple of videos, and I'm going to put them in the description section below, but I mean, at this point, it could literally just be anything. Anyway, guys, tell me in the comment section below what you think about that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. It's been real.